Hello guys and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. And today I'm going to be talking about confidence again. I'm going to be circling back to this topic. I have recently made a video about different ways to improve your confidence. I will link it in the description box down below. It's a really good one, please check it out. But today I want to look at this topic from a little bit of a different angle and try to change your perspective on your insecurities and try to kind of hack your mind a little bit and make you shift your focus from your insecurities. So let's get started. Okay, so just me, or the light is just really harsh. I feel like the light is really harsh. Is it really harsh? Is it not really harsh? I don't understand. I feel like this is okay. I have no idea. Anyways, listen, guys. I want to share my experience with you. And in my experience, really beautiful girls have insecurities. And sometimes they have the most insecurities, which might sound wild unless you worked in beauty industry or in fashion or something like that, then you might know. But if you don't, then you might feel like, well, if a girl is beautiful, you think she's perfect. Of course, you assume that she is very confident and she doesn't have any self-esteem issues at all. And it might amplify your own insecurities so much more so. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be talking only about physical insecurities today. And yeah. So here's the thing. In my early 20s, I did some modeling and I worked with some really beautiful girls. And I want to talk about specifically one incident that is very memorable to me from London Fashion Week, where I talked to a bunch of girls, and general experience of meeting and talking to beautiful girls. This might sound absolutely wild, but your mind would be blown if you knew the things they're insecure about. My mind was absolutely blown, and I knew that I had to share it with the world, because I know that we all live in our own heads and all of our insecurities seem so much bigger in our own heads. And you at this point also realize that. You also heard this so many times, and I keep talking about this, how everybody's only thinking about themselves. Everyone is focused on themselves and their own insecurities. No one is overanalyzing you and hyperfixating on you unless they are, in which case it's on them, really. But here's the thing. So I remember I was talking to these girls during the fashion week, and they were all really nice and really, really lovely and really kind, and we had a lovely chat. And I remember how they started opening up, because I don't know, I always felt like I couldn't share my insecurities because I didn't want to draw anyone's attention to them, and also because I felt like they were so obvious to everyone else that I didn't want to point them out even more so, because I had some insecurities, and I was really insecure about them. But then these girls started opening up about their insecurities. And when I tell you my mind was blown, it was blown. And here's the thing. If anything, that just made me feel really, really sad, because I look at them and I just see beautiful people. It doesn't even cross my mind to start tearing them apart and looking at them as a combination of different body parts that all have to be perfect in their own way or something like that, because doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. A person looks the way that they do as a whole being, and to me also a big part of it is your personality. But even if we're just talking about the looks alone and nothing else, it still blew my mind, and it still blows my mind to this day. I still think that this is just really sad, because in my experience it truly is the most conventionally attractive and beautiful people who have the most insecurities. And we're not going to be talking about why that is the case, because it's a whole other topic. But the thing is that what I'm telling you, you would never know. You would never know. like you just would never know. And when I shared with them the things that I was insecure about, they looked really puzzled as well and like really confused, like what are you talking about? We all wanted each other's like insecurities, you know what I mean? And we just it's kind of a wholesome conversation, but at the same time it's just so sad because you could see the pain in their eyes and like how they are genuinely upset about, you know, their insecurities, about certain body parts that they are upset about. And I have no idea why those specific body parts, like why that specifically. And then again, it could be a bazillion different reasons. It could be just like a comment from a relative or a friend or something like that. Maybe someone said something, pointed it out, made a joke at their expense, and now it stayed in their heads because they think they have to be perfect all the time, because maybe they were never given credit for anything other than their looks, you know, which can be really damaging as well. Which is also why I keep talking about, you know, regardless of your looks, do develop a personality and do focus on your education. But not to digress too much, because I just said I won't be talking about all the reasons why, and here I am trying to dissect it. But the point I'm trying to make is that you genuinely cannot exit anyone's head and anyone's mind. You have no idea the things people are insecure about. It will quite literally never even occur to you, because it's just really bizarre, you know? Like, we are bizarre creatures as we are. The thing is that there are a few options in terms of how other people would think or react to that. First of all, most likely, people don't even notice. They don't notice and they don't care, and I mean that genuinely. Like they genuinely wouldn't even occur to them to pay attention to that. Number two, they see it as something completely neutral. So, not that they don't notice it, but they don't have any judgment about it. They don't think that that specific thing, like, I don't know, your nose, your lips, your hips, your hands, I have no idea, right? Anything, your hair, that those things are like bad or anything like that. They would just see them as it's a thing. That's it. Neutral, completely neutral. And option number three, people, and that is very likely too, by the way, can see that body part as something very attractive. They can actually see it as an attractive feature of yours while you are being insecure about it. I swear to you, you can never enter anyone's head, like I said, and it's also hard to exit your own. So it's just something that unfortunately you just kind of have to believe me when it comes to that. But it's like once you understand that, once you understand how like human psyche works, it stops being important. Now, let me also just say that the people in your life who point out your insecurities or who actually like laugh at them, who, you know, made you feel insecure about something to begin with, people who do say nasty comments and actually like engage with you like that and do focus on you, those people are not mentally well. You also have to understand that we are all projecting our insecurities. Well, not all of us, okay, but like people project their insecurities, you know what I mean? I also talk about this a lot because it's very important for you to understand that people do project a lot. When they criticize other people, when they listen, just go watch my video on shadow work. I made a really good in-depth video on shadow work that I'm really proud of, and I talk about this a lot. Like, people really do project so much, you wouldn't believe it. And it's like, it's also kind of very unconscious. People just like say stuff, but it comes straight through, like straight from their own heads filled with their own insecurities, and they are just assuming that this is how everybody works. Everybody's so different. We all have different quirks and ideas about how, what beauty is supposed to be like, what is perfect, and, so on and so forth. It's so bizarre. But like, you know what I mean? Another thing is that, so yes, you have to understand that it always comes from a place of like lacking. It always comes from a place of lack when people go on spewing their poison onto others. A normal, you know, healthy person, as in like mentally well, you know what I mean, um, who has manners, would never ever say anything like that. When a person is confident and like, genuinely confident, it doesn't mean you don't have like little insecurities and stuff like that. Like, I feel we all do. I feel like that's completely fine. But if you're a genuinely confident person, you would never go around and point out other people's insecurities. I always find it really, really bizarre. It always happened to me with people who were close to me. And I find it very interesting because I feel like a lot of us know, especially women, because we have been criticized by our relatives since we were little girls a lot of the times, which is really heartbreaking because sometimes this like stays with us for the rest of our lives unless we really work through it, which is also why I keep talking about these things, so I can like take you out of that mindset and like help you, heal and work through that and move on with your life. So the comments of stupid people do not affect you, and those effects don't last, you know what I mean? But like, people project, that's just what it is, and that only means one thing, that they are insecure about something, that they have some sort of idea. Sometimes people are just nasty, that's also another thing. Sometimes people are just nasty, but then again, they're also really insecure because, just nasty out of nowhere. Anyways, guys, moving on. Another thing I want to say is that if there is something you're insecure about and you're considering surgery, let's take, for example, a nose as a feature, because I feel like it's a common issue with like girls, for example, right? Please do not rush with that. Please don't. Like, I am begging you. The thing is that there's such a focus when it comes to beauty on Eurocentric features. Not even all like European white girls look the same. We people look different. You know what I'm saying? And I understand how hard it can be if you don't fit into that perfectly. You have to reject that idea altogether. You have to reject the idea that we are all supposed to strive for a certain look, and just like, you have to expand your horizons in your vision, I guess. You really have to expand your own mind when it comes to that. You have to see different types of beauty, and you have to, if you can't see it now, but you have to learn to see beauty, because the way that you look comes from generations and generations of people, like multiple bloodlines. There is so much beauty in that. There's so much honor in that. There's so much heritage in that. You have to learn to see that as beautiful. Another thing is styling. That's a huge thing, because you really need to find a good stylist to follow online. And I will link a really good one in the description box. Please give her a follow. She's fantastic, and she really changed my mind about different types of beauty. This girl is amazing. Anyways, so I will link her English Instagram page down below, so go check it out. But anyways, there are different types of beauty, there are different archetypes, right? And if you think that the idea of looking feminine is all about the skirts and the dresses and certain colors that could be pastel, or the opposite, it could be like really bright colors like red or black or something like that. There's so many different types of beauty. There's so many different ways you can style yourself to make your own features stand out in the best way. Like, you can style yourself to look like a queen, to make yourself look regal. And I'm not exaggerating that. The way that you would not be able to do that if you got that ridiculous nose job to make yourself look like everybody else. And here's the thing, I'm not judging anyone who is making any decisions about their looks, because this is your body. This is there can be so many different reasons people might want to change their looks, and it can be really deep. It can be really hurtful. So I'm not going to be judging that and putting any ideas in your head. What I want to say is that please, if I can talk you out of that, I would be really happy and proud of myself, truly, because there's so much happiness that comes from genuine acceptance of yourself and genuine, you know, like learning to carry yourself a certain way in the world, because this is what other people see. This is what other people read from you. Your looks fade as soon as you start talking, as soon as you put yourself into a space and interact with the world. And it's another reason I keep talking about developing a personality and how important it is to, have your own interests and not put all of the eggs in one basket and just like not just rely on your looks all the time. Because like sometimes people are very, very conventionally good looking and like beautiful, but there is no substance whatsoever. I personally stopped seeing these people as attractive the second they show the lack of intelligence and lack of personality and lack of involvement, lack of care for anything, because you can see that they have always relied on nothing but their looks, and they have really just relied on their looks and nothing else. They never had to develop a personality. They never had to struggle with insecurities. Not that it's a good thing. I'm not saying that it is a good thing, but it can be helpful sometimes in developing a personality, is what I'm trying to say. Even if you're a very conventionally good looking person, please, I will always keep repeating that, do not solely rely on that ever. If you can use your looks to get what you want, sure, go ahead and do that. Be smart about that. However, do not ever solely rely on just that. Do not think that this is your only, strong feature, your positive side. You have to diversify. You really, really do. You cannot rely on just your looks. Looks fade. It is what it is. Procedures, surgeries aside, looks fade. That's fine. That's okay. That's a beautiful thing as well. You have to have some substance as well. You know what I mean? But when it comes to looks, once again, let me just like drive the point once again in this video that you have no idea what people are insecure about. You can look at the most beautiful models. You can't even imagine the things they can be insecure about. The most random things that you will be like, that's just ridiculous. That is ridiculous. If I can hopefully make you feel a little bit more at peace and a little bit more at, look at yourself with more ease, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If I can make you feel better about yourself, then that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. And I really hope that this video helped you at least to feel better, to take your mind off of, your insecurities, because people really are very different and they think about very different things. And the people who say negative comments, once again, they are always projecting, always, without a fault. That's just a fact. Okay? Anyways, you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope it helped you. Please leave me comments down below. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me if you had any incidents with, I don't know, other people. What did other people tell you? Did they say nasty things to you? Did you notice other people talk about their insecurities? How did you feel about that? Please let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate that. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that too. And I really hope that you have a really good day. And I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.